Hey, Chesubira here as always. Karibu sana, which means welcome for those of you who don't understand Kiswahili. Now, in the last episode, I was asking us why we feel the way we feel about ourselves, and I was explaining where my self-esteem came from. Now, I promised we will take it a bit further, so I want us to look at the issue of why do I feel the way I feel about myself. One of the biggest reasons why we think about ourselves the way we do is very often how we were raised. Remember I said that I had self-esteem issues based on my body features, really. Yet, those elements are genetic. There are things I cannot change. I cannot change my height. I cannot change certain elements of how my figure sits. I cannot change some of those things. But there's a way that I would respond to how I was created based on life around me. So for instance, I put on a bit of weight and one of my uncles was like, "You have grown fat." It didn't matter that my mother had said that I look good. The weight looked good on me. The thing that remained in my mind was the negative perception of I have grown fat. And so one of the things that gives us the perspectives we have of ourselves is family. If we say that everybody in our family is fat and I'm the skinny one, or if people are big or endowed or they're shapely and I'm the one who's a size 0, then I feel like I'm not good enough. All right? Very simple, so to speak, but very profound. The other thing that gives us our sense of perception is society. So let's say society determines that the perfect figure for girls is 28, 24, 32, okay? And then you happen to be 32, 40, 45. It's very easy to feel like you're ugly because everybody has a measure. And in the last episode I said one of the things that gave me the sense that I was not good enough was how I saw myself based on how society was judging others. It's important to understand that even as society has elements and rules, they are not perfect, all right? The third thing that gives us our sense of perception is media. If every fashion show I watch, every movie I watch, every series has tiny girls, like in the fashion industry, a size 0 to a size 2 is ideal. In Africa, very few of us are size 0 to size 2. So then, how would I become a size 0 or a size 2 unless I starve myself? I am not shaped like that. The smallest I've been is a size 6. So right there, you have the perception of I'm not good enough. And the reality is it's heavier on girls, but it's also present for men. Why do I say that? There's a whole joke about 6-packs. Girls are looking for guys with 6-packs. What if you're the guy with a 1-pack, as in a pot belly? Where does that leave you? All right? What if you're the guy who's bald naturally, not bald, the cool bald of a guy who's cut his hair? What if you're the short guy and girls are looking for tall guys? I was listening to a message and there's a lady who said the one thing she has told God to do is to never give her a short guy. But it always ends up being a short guy who comes to her. The only way out of this that I see, one, is to understand that you were created in the image and the likeness of God. In Genesis, he says, "Let us make man in our image and likeness." And then he gave man authority to have dominion over the nations. Image and likeness of God is critical because then you understand that who you are is important to fulfilling a certain assignment on earth. When we understand that, life is different. All right? The second thing is to understand what can I change about myself and what can't I change. So for instance, if I am 5'0", I cannot be 6 foot. So I have to get to the place of self-acceptance. How does that happen? I can't grow. Unless I wear stilts, I can't grow beyond the 5 foot. Okay. I need to look back at what value I bring to the table beyond my looks. It is often said that women get a lot of things done in their favor because of how they look. And I've come to understand that that is really true. But it works against us girls when we use our looks to get things and then we cannot deliver. For instance, I use my looks to get a contract, but I cannot deliver on the job. At the end of the day, I will be destroying the image of all the other girls who are pretty. So let's think about it. Why do I feel the way I feel about myself? Because somebody else told me that I was not good enough. Children are born without a sense of good enough or bad enough. It is taught. It is taught. When you look at children, they don't know they're fat or they're skinny until another child calls them fat or skinny. We must be able to go back to that place where we love ourselves as we were created by God. We have to go back to that place. How do we do that? By having honest conversations with ourselves and understanding why we feel the way we feel about ourselves. Secondly, if there are people who consistently belittle you for how you are, get away from them. And third, begin to look at yourself and appreciate yourself. A couple of years ago, my coach gave me an assignment which I'd like to share. He told me to stand in front of the mirror every day, every single day, morning and evening, and look at myself. Just look. 30 seconds. And I did that. When I told him I'm okay with that, he challenged me to now strip down and stand in front of the mirror and do the same thing. And I couldn't. And I couldn't because all I ever saw was the flaws. I saw stretch marks. I saw aborts. I saw skin discoloration. I saw scars. I saw so many things. And I came back and I told him I can't. And he said, do it again tomorrow. And again. And again. And then after a few days when I said, okay, I can, he asked me what the stretch marks were a sign of. And I said, I got them when I was pregnant and when I was growing up, when I was growing tall. And his answer was, isn't that a sign of growth? Isn't that a sign of life? Aren't those things you can be happy about? Is there something that you need to change the way you think about? I feel the way I feel because of what I've been told about myself. But I have the ability to change how I feel about myself by reconnecting with my maker, my creator. Understanding why people said the things they said and choosing to do different. So take time to just sit and look at yourself in the mirror. Stand in front of the mirror and just look at yourself and find those things that make you beautiful, that make you handsome as a man, and celebrate those things. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are made in the image and the likeness of God. Toodles.